You met Syngin and I on your TV screens on the TV show 90 Day Fiancé. But did you know we were actually together for a whole year and a half before that? Stay tuned to this new series that I have coming out on my YouTube channel that's going to be about Tania and Syngin before TV. Almost like The Exorcist, his neck turned a full 360. I swear on everything. He was so surprised, and of course my phone starts going off, and at this point I don't care anymore. We're gonna start this off taking you back all the way to 2017. That's right, that is when Syngin and I first met each other. But how did I end up in South Africa, and who did I end up in South Africa with? And how did I end up meeting Syngin? That's what we're gonna get into in this episode. Back in the fall of 2017, I was still living in DC at the time. And I was, enjoying the dating life, going on good dates, bad dates, and everything in between, while I was still somewhat in the organizing stage. And this time, I was actually on a march from Charlottesville, Virginia to Washington, DC. And when we got back into DC, after that full, long, hard 10 days, I wanted some good action. So I went right on to the dating site. And that is when I matched with Sean. We started chatting right away, and he asked me what would be my version of a perfect date. Trying to be cute, trying to be funny. I said being in Paris, eating a baguette, watching Beauty and the Beast. Come to find out, he was actually going to be in Paris the next day. Like, what? You're in DC now. Like, what do you mean you're going to be in Paris tomorrow? But it's actually just going to be a layover on his way to South Africa. So we keep chatting and everything, and then he asks me, hey, do you want to come to South Africa? What? I said, don't play, I'm crazy enough. I'll show up at the airport tomorrow with my passport and my suitcase. I think you can do this, Tania. You can do this. And so the next morning I tell him to send me a picture of his passport and let's Zoom. I get to South Africa, Uber to the hotel room, and everything's all good. He seems nice and normal. He's like, let's go out, explore the city. We end up at this restaurant, and he's like, I'm not really a big drinker, but I'll get a martini. That's not like a normal martini. That's a really big thing. Oh, no, I know. So we're drinking, we're chilling, we're having a good time, and he actually starts talking about the education system. And I can tell our views kind of vary, and I'm like, let's not talk about this stuff. We're on vacation. Let's just enjoy the 4 days that we're together. And he goes in about if Black people want to do better, they could do better. No one's going to come in and save them. They have to save themselves. And, pause. There's so much wrong about that. Such a big red flag. But what's even worse about it is he is in the public health sector. You know what public health is? It's the science of protecting and improving the health of people in their communities. That's right. Someone who is there to help protect people has a disdain for a huge population of this country. When Sean starts to try to tell me how wrong I am about the education system and tries to school me on it, I'm just seeing all these red flags. And he just reminds me so much of my stepfather, who was physically and verbally abusive to my mother, that in that moment, I just knew I couldn't be with him. And I could not stay at the hotel room later that night. We go back to the hotel room, and he asked me for a kiss, and I tell him, no way. He's like, you know what, let's go out to Long Street. That's the street that's all the bars and restaurants. Let's just go out and try to have fun again. So we're bar hopping all through Long Street, stop at a few bars, and at one of them, he shows his colors again. And that's when I say, nope, I'm not doing this. We're walking down the street, and he keeps walking towards the hotel. I take a left, and he turns back, and he looks at me, and I'm like, I'm on vacation. And I happened to go back to a bar that we were at earlier, but they were charging at this time. And I'm like, I was just in here. I'm not paying to get in now. So I went to this bar across the street, and I'm just standing out on their balcony, drinking my hands, looking, up and down Long Street. And something just keeps pulling me to this bar across the street. The one that wouldn't, that started charging again. I was already in there once, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta get into this bar. So I just go back and I go in, So I'm inside the bar and I find a seat at the corner next to these two older ladies, and we start chatting, drinking, having a good time. One of their ex-husbands there buying us all drinks. It's a good time. I'm on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. After a few drinks, I noticed that the bartender is super cute. He's dancing, you've heard the story. So, I gave him my number. Here's what it is. But me, in my drunk state of mind, I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to let Sean know I'm not coming back to the hotel room? But I knew I wanted to make sure it happened in a way that would allow me to get my stuff the next day. So I tell him I'm at the bar, I met these ladies, we're having a good time. And I'm thinking that he's not going to want to come out. We already argued, he's already back to the hotel room, he's not going to want to come back out. Boy, was I wrong. I'm trying to think, I don't know what to do. So, at this point, Syngin and I had already met. He had my number. We kissed. So I give him my purse. And I'm like, listen, this guy that I came to South Africa with is coming to the bar. I don't want to go home with him. I want to go home with you. We'll figure it out. He says, all right. So Sean meets us at the bar and standing there all broody, gets mad at me and starts an argument because I was drunk and kissed a girl and I liked it. Security's starting to let people out, tell people they have to leave. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go in the bathroom and they're gonna push him out. And then I'm just not gonna leave the bar. I'm gonna stay in with Syngin. Nope, Sean was not having it. He started yelling at the security guards, telling them he refuses to leave until I'm out of the bathroom, yada, yada, yada. We get back to the hotel room and I sit on the bed and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually thirsty. I need some water. Do you want some? He says, no. I said, all right, I'll go get it. And as soon as I leave that room, I knew I wasn't going back. I left that room and I started walking back to the bar. And I text Sean and I'm like, hey. So I let him know, hey, lock the door because I'm going to the bar to get my purse, da-da-da. He starts going on a rampage, calling me a whore, a hoe, and calling me all these names outside of my own name. I go to the bar and Syngin's there still cleaning and I wait for him and then we leave together. On the walk though, I'm hearing so many noises, and after being stalked before, I'm just triggered now in this moment. And I'm really nervous and I'm looking over my shoulder and I'm shaking a little bit. And Syngin just puts his arm around me and says, you are safe. You're with me. You're safe now. In that moment, he was so cool, calm, collected. And I felt so safe. My heart melted. And that was the beginning. So we get to Syngin's apartment and, all my nerves and everything, actually, I start actually throwing up. And he is just he's pulling my hair back for me. Where did this man come from? And he was so sure of himself and so sure of his strength. And he just knew how safe I would be with him. Oh my God, such a turn on. And, and so we start making out. We have great sex. We almost break the shower. Oh, such a great time. The following morning, we talked about everything from spirituality and religion to volunteering and helping people and just how much we want the earth to be better. And we talked for hours, hours. So it's 3:00 and Syngin has to start getting ready for work. He tells me how much he was enjoying the conversation, and he says, I want you to be here when I get back from work. Will you stay here while I go to work? And I'm like, sure. I'm texting my girlfriends oh my God, I met this guy. I text them a picture of him. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, so I stay with Syngin again another night. I'm wearing all his clothes. He's taking me through the parts of Cape Town. We're going to the beaches, and it's amazing how much happened in 4 days. Meanwhile, Sean is sending me all these crazy messages ranging everywhere from calling me a whore to saying, hey, please just meet up with me. I really want to see you. He goes from calling me a whore to saying, hey, I'm really sorry. Please, let's just meet up somewhere. I really want to see you. Even look at me being the bigger person, even though I didn't do anything wrong. I'm saying sorry to you. This is going on for days now. Mind you, again, he was only in South Africa for 4 days. So I need to figure out how to get my luggage, my passport, and my laptop back from his hotel room. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Over the 4 days, he's sending me pictures of him at, visiting the penguins and saying, oh, if you could have been more mature, this could have been you. And again, then more with the, hey, I'm sorry, please, I just want to meet up with you. Look at me being the bigger person saying sorry. He started spoofing me and calling me from so many different numbers, leaving me crazy voicemails saying that the Daily Beast, the newspaper publication, was reaching out to me, like all of these like crazy things. So Syngin comes with me to the hotel, but I tell Syngin to please like wait outside at the corner. Sean still doesn't know about him, and I said, if Sean finds out about you, I for sure will not get my things. So I get up to start to approach Sean. He was actually at the downstairs bar, and I was like behind him, so he hadn't seen me yet. He's actually, at this point, I get up to go confront him. I say, Sean, I need to go upstairs. I need to get my things. One of the front desk people will come with us. Can you please stay down here? And he says, no. He refuses. I said, all right, you can come in the room too, but one of them are coming with me. No, I don't have any of your things, and just goes on and on and on. So I start walking away. I'm walking outside, and he's following him, and he's yelling, and we're at the door, and he's just yelling, and I just turn around. Sean turns around, he goes inside, and I look up, and I see Syngin, full blast, running. Gets to me, says, no one yells at you like that, no one talks to you like that. And I'm like, oh my God. But I tell Syngin to calm down. It's all right. I'm just going to call the cops. Like, he's not letting me up in the room. I need to get my things. Sean wouldn't let us in the room at first. And then when he finally opens the door, he opens it naked. Sean puts on clothes and comes out in the hallway, and he says, I don't have any of her things. I told her I already threw it all out. I don't have any of her things. And the guy cop literally bum rushes him, throws him on the bed, and says, you're under arrest for theft and intimidation. And he starts, no, her stuff's upstairs. It's in the closet upstairs. He hid my stuff in a utility closet upstairs. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I can't find my passport. Can't find my laptop. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm done. The next morning, Sean texts. And he says, you can tell that idiot cop that your laptop is behind the door in the bathroom. Syngin and I are walking to the hotel, and Sean sees us. He must have been in his Uber still to the airport, and he sees us walking. And I, almost like The Exorcist, his neck turned a full like 360. I swear on everything. He was so surprised, and of course my phone starts going off, and at this point I don't care anymore. I know I'm safe. I'm with Syngin. We've been connecting so much over these 4 days. It's been beautiful. It's just been amazing. Well, I hope you all enjoyed listening to how I got to South Africa and what happened in the first 24 hours and the first few days that I met Syngin Colchester. Make sure you're subscribed so you get notified when we drop next week's episode about our time in South Africa.